It's your girl, VK Johannem, and I'm doing a sponsored book review of Guide to the Spheres and Beyond by Nicholas Gillette. By sponsored, I mean that I was given a free copy of the book in exchange for the promise of a book review video. So, Guide to the Spheres and Beyond. That is an analysis of the gate walking process outlined in the Necronomicon by Simon Nicholas Gillette. That author is the individual who runs the Magickology YouTube channel, which is, of course, dedicated to the Necronomicon, just like the book that I'm reviewing now. I've done a podcast with that guy. He's really cool. Um, so, for the beginning, this is an amazing book. I would say it's a must-have if the Necronomicon is of significance to your personal craft. I believe that it'll also be useful for people who want to approach the emanations through Kabbalah or through the Sevenfold Way, because it gives you a very interesting look at what the emanations are and what the process of initiating through them and mastering them is. People who practice Sumerian magic but don't give a crap about the Necronomicon, I think will also find the book very helpful and informative. But so let's break down the contents of the book and make some comments. First, it's noteworthy that Nicholas Gillette took the time to provide sources one can look into to establish the legitimacy of the Necronomicon, saying that, a lot of the same rites that appear in the Necronomicon are seen in authentic Sumerian magic. Not much detail is gone into with that, but to go into extreme detail with that would be to diverge from the topic of the book. So, the spheres are presented in a pretty good amount of detail. What it's like to initiate through them, what practices one should adopt to master the energies of the sphere, the deities that preside over the spheres and the Necronomicon are analyzed in a helpful and informative way. He did very good with that. He also did a good job of lining up which of the Necronomicon's gates line up with which of the Sephirothic spheres. He even takes Ein, Ein Sof, and Ein Sof, or the trans-Sephirothic veils, into account, identifying them as the gates of Anu, Enki, and Enlil. What was interesting to me is that the gate of Anu, being the Necronomicon's equivalent of Ein, the trans-Sephirothic abyss, is described by Gillette as the gate of the Jinn. Now, the reason that was interesting to me is because, as I've said in the past, it is my personal gnosis and personal experience that the energies of Tohu, the trans-Klapothic abyss, are very helpful in rituals to the Jinn. So, this statement on his part lines up very well with my personal gnosis. That was cool to me. But okay, the book also does a good job of discussing what the relationship between the magician and his watcher should be. So the watcher is a sort of protector spirit that is assigned to you in the Necronomicon. It does go into the idea that the Necronomicon is part of the subconscious mind. Based on my relationship with my watcher Dondulez, and, the relationships of other Necronomicon magicians I've known with their watchers, I'm 100% confident that the watcher is not the subconscious. It's an independent external intelligence, but, he is not obliged to agree with me. There is a ritual to initiate through the Sumerian underworld in this book. It's a very cool, interesting ritual. As someone who initiated through the Sumerian underworld with his own rituals, I found it interesting to read his procedure. It was cool. There are rites to initiate through the Zodiac, and there is a rite to initiate through the Gate of Arzir. Now, Another enjoyable part of the book is a series of dissertations on the 12 signs of the zodiac and their relationships to Sumerian gods and Sumerian belief. That was cool. All in all, it's an amazing book. I have one complaint, though, just one. I can just throw this away now. Finally got this video right. Okay. The one section that I disagreed with was actually one paragraph long. This is something I've seen before in books I've been asked to review, where it's a really great book, but there's one paragraph that is very, very wrong and potentially could kill someone. So this is the paragraph where Nicholas talks about gates that lead to the realm of Tiamat, this chaos goddess. He talks about the fact that, you know, some magicians open these such gates for given reasons. There are several similar gates in this apartment. And he talks about how some of the gates, you know, just open naturally. And he says that gatewalkers, you know, Necronomicon magicians should close these gates if found. That is a terrible idea. Like, I don't mean to be a dick, but that's a really, really bad idea. Okay, so what we're discussing when we talk about gates to the realm of Tiamat that magicians, black magicians, open is we're talking about gateways that are meant to produce a beneficial aeonic change at the cost of causing some chaos. You can't make an omelet without breaking a few eggs. Some of my omelets have broken. Have really, really broken some eggs. Not gonna lie. But closing these gates is not advisable. Like you're actually putting yourself at great risk, regardless of whether the gate to that chaotic realm was opened by a magician or otherwise. Now I have seen portals opened by black magicians that were very ill-conceived, done very recklessly, done out of sheer like mischief or malice. Yeah, those are worth closing, but Gillette doesn't go into any, you know, detail about the fact that some gates are, not all gates are equal. You know, some gateways are open very haphazardly and stupidly and only aren't gonna do anything other than hurt people, whereas others achieve something very beneficial. And if you're going to walk around closing people's portals, you should be guided on how to discern between ones that are somewhat productive and ones that are purely hazardous. In addition to that, you know, you're going to need some safety procedures, for sure. So if you're trying to, like, close some black magician's portal, what if he senses your ass? What if his familiars sense your ass? What if his spirit guides are mad about that shit? That's actually a very dangerous thing. But that's just one paragraph that I have a real problem with. I'll put a link to where you can buy the book on Amazon in the description. Again, if you are a Necronomicon magician, I highly encourage you to buy this. Anyway, that's all for now. Have a great night and enjoy your immortality. Check out the link in the description below if you want a little more Gillette in your life.